Hey, beautiful souls. Welcome or welcome back. Welcome in. We're kind of all new here. I'm just tidying up my cards from a reading, and I've been pondering since yesterday the first message that I really want to share on this channel, right? And I've got, after I created this or rebranded this group, I wrote out about 20 different things that I was thinking, subjects, themes, discussions, all this stuff. There were potential and alive for this space, but really there's just one message that wants to come through here to open up, because I am, as we all are, observing what's going on in the collective. We're observing all sorts of things, and even if we don't actually follow, watch, listen to news and all the rest of it, we can still feel, hear what's going on. And it struck me this morning how really, if we are feeling low, we're feeling tired, low, anxious, depressed, whatever, if there's already something going on in our lives, how categorically unhelpful and unhealthy it is to be ingesting the chaos, the news, the division, the problems of this world. Now, I'm not suggesting that you do anything. You don't have to do anything. But what I do know is you're not going to feel any better if you're ingesting all the stuff. So our nervous systems are not designed to take on the trauma of the world. It's as simple as that. It's not a normal state of being for a human body, a spirit, to have this information overload and all the news and the chaos and everything that we are bombarded with, and then expect to feel well, expect to feel good. If we are already feeling depressed or anxious, it's really not very surprising if we spend an hour watching news and then feel worse. I want to open up this channel because it isn't all about mental health on this channel. There are several subjects in life that seem to be a little bit taboo, seem to be where people don't necessarily like talking about them, want to talk about them. Maybe they feel that it's futile, or whatever the reason is. There's quite a lot there. It's not all about mental health. However, it's a big thread. We all exist in the mind, and how we feel about ourselves dictates our reality and our life. How we think about ourselves dictates our reality. Simple. So I've never met anyone who is depressed, anxious, or with a mental illness who is kind to themselves in their mind. The two things don't go together. So it's absolutely imperative we start to understand how things affect us, and the chaos, conflict, deception, and irresponsibility in this world is very difficult for a sensitive, depressed person or anxious person to deal with. You really don't need to put yourself through that. You don't have obligation or responsibility to take on the emotional, mental burden of what's happening outside of you. It's quite enough, actually, quite enough to deal with the internal reality without taking on everything that is around you. Give yourself permission to put yourself first. Let yourself off the hook a bit. There really isn't, my mum used to say to me, you've got to know what's going on in the world. So I don't really, Mum, to be honest, because I can feel what's going on in the world. I've felt it since I was a child because I'm highly empathic. It's probably why I've been anxious and depressed most of my life. So I'm really not under any obligation to listen to endless, repetitive details about it. Okay, 444 on the timer, a hole. So please understand that you're not going to feel any better. It doesn't make you a terrible person if you don't want to consistently listen to every detail over and over and watch it back. Think about what you're consuming, and that your body and your nervous system is not built to take on the problems of the world. Let me say that again. Your nervous system is not built to take on the problems of this world. And a massive part of true self-care is really honouring what feels good and what doesn't, creating a boundary around that and allowing yourself to do that, because your internal reality is literally the only thing that you can control. If you have the opportunity to physically help somebody out there, or to do something to help somebody truthfully who's struggling, you know, all these situations that are going on, if you find a way to physically help them with your resources, whether that's your energy, money, time, whatever it is, then absolutely amazing. Then you're actually doing something to help. But it really isn't helping the external situation, or especially your beautiful self, your health, okay, and how you feel. It's not helping. It's not helping to take it in, to take it on, to think about it, stress about it, have a bleeding heart about the world. It's actually quite a dysfunctional energy, because all it's doing is feeding into the pot of dismay, confusion, despair. Okay? You're much better able, much more resilient, contained, contented, or just accepting of life. You keep your business into how I feel. What can I do to change how I feel? Take a bath, take a walk, unplug, turn the news off, do something creative, listen to some music, dance. Can you allow yourself to let yourself off of the hook? Because the constant mental engagement with everything that's going on in the world, it's really not helpful at all. So another theme is coming through, which I feel like I'm going to do maybe next video, but I'm just going to go with the flow as I do. But there's something really big coming through around the dissonance in society. And I see it with all the chaos now. Like, there's so many different people saying different things. There's not really a clear thread. And there's also like a big gap between what is and the way people perceive it, or the understanding. Like, there's dissonance everywhere. And I want to speak into that, because no one really seems to want to talk about the fact that we see all this going on, and on one level we're sat here saying, oh yeah, it's terrible, you know, the government, whatever, they clearly don't have our best interest at heart. So there's an admission on one level, people can admit, that what we see doesn't ring true, that what we're witnessing doesn't quite add up, that the powers that were clearly are functioning from self-serving agenda and motives. So we can kind of admit all of that, but then still buying into it, still listening to it as if it's valid. If they are lying, then they're fucking lying about everything. To me, that makes everything they say completely irrelevant. You know, I've had conversations with people who are very conscious to one point. They will admit and see and feel and know to be true the fact that a lot of it's contrived, the fact that these bigger structures have a self-serving agenda, the fact that they don't, like we said, don't have our best interests at heart. But then I'll still see that person that I've had the conversation with sitting watching the news, getting invested in it, riled up by it. The answers are not coming through the people who are lying to us. So it's like, let's join the dots. So I want to talk about that next, I think. We've got to start joining the dots. And I know why people have a blank with it. There's that dissonance. It's like, oh yeah, I can see that, yeah. But then that's it. That's as far as it goes. And I know why that is, and we're going to talk about that. But it's really time to bridge that gap, because we've got to bring everything to the light. And this is what this channel is about. Even if it's just a tiny small pocket, a tiny little space of corner of the internet. To bring truth to something, acknowledge it exactly how it is the first step to change. So, yeah, that's my little opening for today. whatever you're doing, wherever you are, I'm sending you so much love. And thank you so much for being here or staying here. Because I know a lot of you subscribed previously to the other channel. So thank you very much if you decided to stick around and to expand in this energy of truth and open conversation. I appreciate all of you. I love you very much. Take care of yourselves. Until next time.